A while back I made a video on how to time a coyote, and I get messages and comments daily saying, hey, thanks for the video, it helped a lot. So I'm gonna remake the video but make it even easier to follow. A few things to note before we start. If you pull the camshafts out, this is where you want to put them back. This is the neutral position for each side. You're also going to want to put the keyway at 5 o'clock before we start timing anything. Also, don't forget the filter inside your camshaft if you haven't put it in already. Now, timing the secondary chains is easy. You want to put one mark on the single link here and the other mark in between the double links here. Both of these have alignment pins, and those pins are going to fall in these big gaps here on the camshaft. When you get these over to the cam, you just want to rotate them until they fall in place. For the time being, I just put the bolts in hand tight. Check to make sure your chain is falling in between your guides on both the top and the bottom. And with brand new secondary tensioners, you'll have a little blue clip in there. You'll want to pull it out and then push down to activate the tensioner. If you forget to do that, you're gonna have a very bad time. Repeat the same exact thing on the other side. By the way, these bolts are one-time use. Next up are the timing chains. Now this always seems intimidating, but it's really not that bad. One important piece of information before we start, this is the right side of the engine, and this is the left side of the engine. Our timing chains are gonna have two colored links on them. Which link you use where doesn't matter, but you're gonna wanna line one of them up with this marking on the left side here, and you can see the little mark right there on the tooth. For the other link, you're gonna wanna line it up on the back set of teeth where it's marked on the crank sprocket. Depending on what brand of crank sprocket you have, it's gonna be marked differently. When doing an aftermarket crank sprocket, it's sometimes a good idea to check to make sure your mark is in the same spot on the new sprocket as it was on the OEM sprocket. Sometimes they're mismarked. I marked my teeth so it's a little bit easier to see, but if you look, we're about one tooth off on our colored link. It's okay to slightly rotate the crankshaft in order to get that tooth to land where it needs to. They should be looking something like this in both spots. Now it's time to put our guides in. These install the same exact way as an OEM one would. It can only go in one direction. Just make sure that the hole in the tensioner lines up with your bolt hole. Again, I just snugged the bolt. We'll come back and torque everything later. Next is the pivoting guide, and again, if you need some slack, you can rotate the crank a little bit. You just want to make sure that your marks stay lined up. Once your two guides are on, it is time for the tensioner. There's two types of tensioners. This is just a factory Gen 3 one. This is a Boss 302 one, which is what I prefer to use. You do have to be careful though when you start moving away from OEM parts like the stock pivoting arm, because there are some incompatibilities. These Boss tensioners have a little piece here that extends out, and this does not have a provision for it like our factory one does. So I'm actually gonna remove the ratcheting piece on this one, but I won't get into that. This is gonna start confusing people. If you're just using all your stock parts again, then you don't have to worry about this. In the case that you were just using stock stuff, you'll bolt that up and then you'll pull the pin once it's in place. Before we move on, go around, verify that all your marks are going to line up still. This one would fall right into place.